Boyfriend keeps stealing money from me, so now I canceled his flight. Hello everyone, this is my first time sharing a story here, and it's quite the roller coaster. I've been with my boyfriend for almost 4 years, and we have a 3-year-old son together. His upbringing has been challenging. His parents have struggled with housing, which has made him homeless at times. This background is important for understanding our current situation. I'm a veteran with a 100% disability rating, which provides me with a monthly income. About a year ago, I bought a house, and while I'm grateful for my service that allows me to be a stay-at-home mom while going to school, the mortgage is a bit steep. To ease the financial strain, I decided to pursue my education. My boyfriend often reminds me that he didn't have the same opportunities I did, wishing he could stay home and receive checks like I do. I always remind him that he had the same chance to join the military when we were 18. Now, we were supposed to fly out to a wedding soon, but he kept suggesting we cancel due to his financial struggles. I explained that I had booked everything in advance, and canceling last minute wouldn't be fair to the bride. He complained about his low pay and mentioned looking for a new job, but I noticed he hadn't taken any steps to make that happen. While I was visiting my mom this past weekend, I tried to make a purchase, only to find my card declined. This was unusual for me, as I'm usually careful with my budgeting. When I checked my account, I was shocked to see multiple charges on my card for his Steam account, totaling around $90. This infuriated me, especially since he was late on his half of the mortgage, leaving me $1,000 short. Although he had finally given me the money a few days prior, I was still waiting for it to hit my account, which led to an overdraft. To make matters worse, he had used my card without telling me, racking up even more overdraft fees. He usually informs me when he uses my card, but this time he claimed he didn't know he had done it. I confronted him about how that was possible since I had my card with me, and it's a different color than his. His response was simply, "I'm sorry, I won't use your card anymore." As I dug deeper into my statements, I discovered he had been using my card for breakfast, groceries, and other purchases without my knowledge. While he does ask for permission sometimes, and usually pays me back, he had been underreporting the costs of some of these items. This was the first time I had been overdrafted in years, and he hadn't even offered a proper apology for his actions. Instead, he had the nerve to say, "Now you know how it feels living paycheck to paycheck like me." Feeling frustrated and desperate, I made the decision to cancel his part of the plane ticket to recoup some of the money to cover the $500 in overdraft fees. I hadn't told him yet, but I planned to do so in person when I returned home. So am I the bad guy for taking this step?
Am I the bad guy for telling Mil it's her own fault our son was hard to put to bed? My husband has been battling glioblastoma, an aggressive brain tumor, which has turned our lives upside down. After his first surgery 6 months ago, he seemed to be doing well, but recently he needed a second surgery. With all the doctor's appointments and hospital visits, he has spent a lot of time away from home. He tries to make the most of the time he has with our 2-year-old son, who is very much a daddy's boy and deeply attached to him. To help our son cope during these tough times, we found that he loves to carry around my husband's favorite t-shirt and sleep with it at night. My husband wears it when he's with our son and leaves it behind when he has to go. If I need to wash it, I spritz it with his cologne and add a bit of his shampoo to keep the scent familiar, which makes our son happy. Both sides of our family know how important this shirt is to our little one. Last week, during my husband's second surgery, I planned to stay at the hospital with him until visiting hours were over. My mother-in-law was watching our son and was supposed to put him to bed. Before I left, I reminded her about the shirt and explained how to handle it if it needed washing, stressing that our son wouldn't sleep without it. She assured me she understood. When I got home late that night, I found my son asleep on the couch, which was unusual since he always sleeps in his crib. I immediately noticed he didn't have the shirt. When I asked my mother-in-law about it, she casually mentioned that she felt he didn't need it and had thrown it in the washer because it was unhealthy for him to be so attached. She then complained that he was hard to put down and suggested I needed to help him develop healthier sleeping habits if I expected her to babysit. I was taken aback, and after a moment of silence, I told her it was her own fault he was difficult to put down, since he would have easily fallen asleep with the shirt. She called me ungrateful, claiming she was trying to help him adjust to a healthier sleeping pattern. Frustrated, I told her that she didn't need to babysit anymore and that I would find someone else in the future. Now she's upset with me, saying we made it hard for her by making him too reliant on the shirt, and that we should be grateful she was trying to break him of it. Some family members even sided with her, and I didn't want to burden my husband with this drama since he was recovering from surgery. But of course, my mother-in-law told him about our argument, and he was just as upset as I was. I've been trying to balance my feelings with the reality of our situation, understanding that my mother-in-law is grieving too. However, I can't ignore how her actions are affecting my son. I've been patient with her over the past 6 months, letting her have her way because I know she's hurting. But this time, it felt like it crossed a line, especially since my husband is worried about how she will treat our son in the future. I've considered her feelings, but I also have to prioritize my son's well-being. It's a tough situation, and while I wonder if I'm being unreasonable, I can't shake the feeling that I'm just trying to protect my little one.
Would I be TA if I turned my girlfriend into CPS? I've been dating my girlfriend for almost a year now, and from the very beginning, her daughter has made it clear that she doesn't like me. Despite my efforts to be kind and supportive, she has thrown insults my way and even made some outrageous accusations against me. It's been tough, but I've tried to keep my distance and not let it get to me. However, things took a more serious turn when I started noticing how she interacts with her own children. Her daughter, whom I'll refer to as Karen, has 4 kids. The oldest, an 11-year-old named Heather, has been living with her mother again only recently after spending years with her father. I've always loved children and even worked as a foster parent in the past, so I understand the importance of discipline. But I also believe there's a fine line between discipline and abuse. Every time I visited Karen's house with my girlfriend, I felt increasingly uncomfortable. Karen's way of correcting Heather's behavior seemed extreme. She would scream at Heather, using language that was not only harsh, but downright damaging. I heard her say things like she would kill her and call her names that no child should ever hear. It was heartbreaking to witness. And I couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than just tough love. I brought my concerns up with my girlfriend, hoping she would see the situation as I did. While she agreed that Karen's behavior wasn't right, she seemed to justify it, attributing it to Karen's unresolved feelings about Heather living with her father. I couldn't accept that as a valid reason for the emotional abuse I was witnessing. Kids are going to make mistakes. It's part of growing up. But the way Karen reacted was excessive, and I worried about the long-term effects on Heather's self-esteem. As I continued to ponder the situation, I found myself considering a drastic step: reporting Karen to Child Protective Services. I wanted to ensure that my intentions were pure and that I was acting out of genuine concern for Heather's well-being, rather than out of spite for how Karen treated me. After reflecting on the advice I received from others, I realized that I needed to take action. I had already started thinking about ending my relationship with my girlfriend, not just because of her daughter's behavior, but also because of her lack of support for Heather. I began planning my exit strategy, ensuring I had a place to go before making any big decisions. Ultimately, my priority was to protect Heather and the other younger children from experiencing the same emotional turmoil. I decided to make an anonymous report to Child Protective Services, hoping it would lead to the help that Heather desperately needed. It was a difficult choice, but I felt it was necessary for the sake of the children involved.
My friend cheated on his partner, and now my mom wants to report me to the police for telling him. I had 2 close friends, Kevin and Josh, who had been together for years. One night, I witnessed Kevin cheating on Josh while making out with another man. I confronted Kevin right then and there, insisting that he had to tell Josh or I would. He got angry, claiming I shouldn't know about it, but I reminded him that I was literally there. After days of pushing him, he finally agreed to talk to Josh. In the meantime, I distanced myself from both of them. I struggled to trust someone who could cheat on their partner, and they often made jokes at my expense, calling me stupid and questioning my intelligence. During this time, I focused on healing and, with the help of my therapist, began to understand how they had treated me. Although I spoke to them a few times over the next year, I didn't want to hang out, and I think they started to pick up on that. Fast forward 2 years, and I learned that Kevin and Josh were getting married. They even invited me to the wedding, which felt strange given our history. I discussed it with my sister, who also knew about the cheating. I suggested we should inform Josh, as I doubted Kevin had ever come clean. My sister disagreed, saying it was too late and that she wanted to stay friends with Kevin. I pushed back, questioning why she would want to be friends with someone who treated his partner so poorly. I decided to message Kevin, letting him know I wouldn't attend the wedding. During our conversation, I expressed my disbelief that he had told Josh the truth. Kevin responded condescendingly, saying, "Maybe your truth isn't the only truth. He doesn't need to know, so maybe you should let it go too." At that moment, I realized he had lied to me all along. I felt foolish for believing him, so I made the decision to tell Josh the truth that same day. I explained that Kevin had cheated and that my sister and I were witnesses. I felt Josh deserved to know before making such a significant commitment. Almost immediately, Josh blocked me, followed by my sister and Kevin. I had never experienced being blocked by anyone before, so it was a shocking turn of events. My sister, in her frustration, spread rumors that I had gone crazy and lied to prevent their wedding. This was a pattern I was used to. She often made me take the blame and painted me as the villain. The next day, my mom called me, furious. She said my sister was upset about missing the wedding and had even bought a new dress. My mom accused me of ruining their lives and demanded that I call Kevin and Josh to retract my statement, claiming I made everything up out of boredom. She even threatened to report me for defamation. To provide some context, my mom has a history of infidelity herself, and she had previously urged me to keep quiet about her past. My family has always discouraged me from telling the truth in situations like this, insisting that it only creates problems. I've often found myself in conflict with them because I believe in honesty and transparency, especially regarding cheating and betrayal. As someone on the autism spectrum, lying is particularly challenging for me. I genuinely thought I was doing the right thing by telling Josh the truth. Now, with all this backlash, I find myself questioning whether I made the wrong choice. I sought advice from my friends, my psychologist, and my boyfriend before speaking up, and they all agreed that Josh deserved to know. I just wish my family could understand that honesty shouldn't come at the expense of someone's dignity or happiness.